Hi everyone, good afternoon. So just before the lunch break, right? Always a tough session, and also do this presentation in 10 minutes. So let's see how we do there. So hi everyone, this is Rosita. I'm head of solutions mapping at UNDP's Accelerator Lab program. This initiative particularly was launched in 2019, and we are basically a network of a learning network on innovations for SDGs, and we are spread across 115 countries. So we are 91 labs in 115 countries. And today, actually, I'm here to talk about something really interesting. It's called DICRA. And I think the last panel really left on a very interesting note, which was taking small steps, and this is where I begin. So this story that I'm about to share today is about how this started really small. And I think you will begin to appreciate that a little bit later, because it might seem very expansive what this platform is doing. But it all started with one small experiment, one system thinking workshop which took place in Telangana with diverse stakeholders, around 40 organizations, and with one unified voice that break the data silos and actually come up with open data sets, digital commons that will benefit the entire ecosystem. So we really took this kind of, really guiding principles, and then we went on to this journey where we created a platform called Data in Climate Resilient Agriculture. And this platform is completely guided by open source principles. Just wanted to check before I go further, how many of you have worked with open data sets or are familiar with it? Okay, few, not bad. So guided by this, what happens here is we are looking at the particular challenge of, the lack of data, say, on certain climate resilient agricultural parameters. So this could range from, say, soil health, crop productivity. I mean, these data sets, while they are available, but there are very limited data sets available in, say, the open domain. And of course, there are always resolution issues that a lot of our folks who are working in GIS and remote sensing face. So this is, the interesting part is it is curated by a data collaborative with 10 organization and 100 plus volunteering data scientists who added data to this. So really think about it like, a Wikipedia style, right? So all the open API codes are available in the GitHub. Anybody can download that, right? And let me tell you also on what those data sets, look like. But we started this in Telangana. Now we are kind of like already expanded it to 7 states, and now we are on a journey to make it a national platform. Now, just a quick one on this. So DICRA is actually the long-term objective here is to guide policymakers on climate resilient agriculture, like where to invest, where should the investments be going, which are the most climate vulnerable villages. And sometimes, of course, we struggle to get this data in real time. And the beauty of this platform is because no one organization created it, it's hundreds of people coming together and more added every day. We are able to, bring more quality, bring more depth into the research, and it's a dynamic platform. So we really look at open data sets, say those of you familiar working in this domain, by European Science Agency, NASA, NOAA, Government of Telangana also had an open data platform that was helpful in making that start. And we are able to, provide this single window into the agriculture ecosystem. And let me give you maybe just very quick examples. We have like data on 20 parameters and demand from different state governments to add more parameters. So if I just come to this point, this one is NDVI. This is Normalized Difference Vegetation Index. In simple word, it just tells you the vegetation health and density. And this is available at a hyper-local data scale, so 250-meter resolution village level. And it is available every 16 days through MODIS. The next layer is on soil moisture. And here again, I think many people who are working in this domain know that good resolutions are not available. We have been able to downscale this to 10 kilometer using SMAP NASA data. But of course, it can be like we can do better. So there's more research being done in this phase. There's also a land use, land cover data, which is very crucial actually. If you have to look at, say, time, the time value changes that has happened for climate change, and that is available at a 10-meter resolution, so fairly better, and it's with the help of ISRI. Now moving forward, like of course there are other data sets like crop fires are very important. It's a point data available from NASA currently every 14 days. There are also like say other parameters which is very important, say water index, the normalized difference water index. That is also helpful in analyzing. Now keeping all these technical points aside, what is the application of it, right? I mean the game changer here is that it is totally open analytics and open AI that we are playing with, and it's a plug and play, which means that actually more geographies can use it. So currently there is interest from 10 countries to replicate this, and this became India's first digital public good to be accredited by the Digital Public Alliance. So that happened in 2022. And one important aspect that I want to focus on is positive deviance. So positive deviance is really kind of like learning from those points where things are going well. Often we look at, things are not going well, which areas, like the red marks, but also learning from the green areas, like where are things that are going well. And then actually very interesting thing happens here. There is ground truthing and ethnography mapping, which means that, I mean, we cannot just talk about it as data, right? There are people residing in these places. There are farmers practicing, innovating every day, using very interesting traditional knowledge and indigenous practices. So we were even able to, with the help of our, grassroots organizations, RICH, that is present in Hyderabad, we were able to actually get a sense of what these practices are, like really going into the green areas and see that how come they are very resilient as compared to say other farms, right? What is it that they are practicing well? And this kind of a mapping of disciplines with AI and social science and ethnography is something we feel that should be encouraged more and more, because it's not just about the data, it's about the people. Other than that, I mean, just to, and of course you can, Google DICRA and you'll be able to see this platform and even go to GitHub and get the codes. Other than that, what is important for us is to also see, how these climate resilient practices can be replicated further. Right? And this is where, these kind of grassroots mapping also helps us. So that is also available. If you go to the website and if you search a video, you'll be able to actually see and read a compendium of these practices. And I think it's kind of like, because it was piloted and started small with Telangana, it captures those practices, but there's no reason why more states cannot join in. And currently, like I said, it's available in 7 states and giving information almost on 50 million hectares, right? And if it becomes a national platform, which is the journey that we are now going to embark with the help of NABARD. So we have entered into a partnership very recently with NABARD, which will take it to the next level to kind of make it a national platform. And this went live in April 2022. And, it has a number of users ranging from, say, government officers, CSOs, agri-startups, researchers, scientists, because it was mostly developed as an intelligence-providing platform for decision-making. But we saw a lot of interest from, say, data scientists also coming in. And there are a number of ways you can partner with us. So like I mentioned, we are on the scale-up journey, and there are a number of ways, like in terms of ideating and contributing, high-resolution open data sets, helping us in further doing ethnography. Of course, with policymakers, we are really looking at the key kind of insights that can be generated for better targeting of, say, climate vulnerable practices, or even packages that are developed by the ministry, like can be attuned to the diversity and looking at microdata. So that's it from my side, and do join us for collective climate action. Thanks.